Henshin a go-go, baby. What's good, guys? Yoku here. We're going over 1.1. Now, I have everything written down as far as my notes go for 1.1, the banner, the event, the review, so on and so forth. And I want to try and bring that to you in a concise manner. But I also want to be able to give you my opinion on what I think about 1.1, whether or not I think the banners are actually worth it, if they're good, and if 1.1 is bringing any actual value to the game right now, being the fact that we're not getting the main story expansion with 1.1. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about 1.1 and the overview and what I think about it. Now, 1.1 is going to be featuring a few characters. We're going to have Silverwolf coming in on the first banner, the first half of 1.1. After that, we're going to have Luocha coming in, and alongside Luocha is going to be Yukong. Now, with Yukong, it's not made aware to me just yet whether or not we're going to be getting Yukong in the first half of 1.1 or the second half of 1.1 with Luocha. And what I mean by that is we're getting a free copy of Yukong, to my understanding, which means going from Luocha's banner, you're going to be able to get Eidolons on Yukong, which is going to be huge. Now, the main question here is whether or not you should pull for Luocha or Silverwolf. Silverwolf, Luocha, which of these characters should you pull for? And as a free-to-play player, this comes down to one simple question. Well, I guess it's not really one, but for the sake of me stating this before I actually go into this ramble, if you have your mind made up, you know I'm gonna pull whatever I want because no one can tell me anything, and I don't listen to content creators, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. No one is demanding or forcing or anything like that, but you can do your own thing. It's cool. If you're a player who wants to know as much as possible information about a character before you make a decision so that you can feel confident, so you can feel sound, so you can feel reassured or firm, if you will, about what character you pull on, then everything that I'm about to tell you, as well as any other creator, is pretty much going to be all the information you need to be able to make your own opinion, make your own decision, and then go from there. If you're free to play, the single question that you need to ask yourself, do I have Japard? Do I have Bailu? If the answer is no, Luocha is the only option you need to be looking. Don't even look in Silverwolf's direction. Don't attempt it. Don't try it. Don't even, what are you guys talking about? Y'all call it building pity? Don't build pity on Silverwolf's banner, because if you get Silverwolf and you mess up your opportunity to get Luocha, especially if you have a guaranteed Luocha, you're gonna be pissed off. You're gonna be so upset if you end up pulling Silverwolf and using that or wasting that opportunity instead of getting Luocha because you needed Luocha on your account. Now, this doesn't mean that Silverwolf is a bad character. By far is she nowhere near a bad character. I think Silverwolf improves any one account, any one player account. Silverwolf is going to improve it tremendously. But in order for you to tackle content that exists right now in the game, instead of waiting anywhere between half a year to a full year, Luocha is going to be the one that you need to pick up. Most of us know what Luocha does, but just in case you don't understand the actual why Luocha is so good, Luocha is going to be one of the characters that has some of the most insane utility that I've ever seen in a healer's kit. And this goes across any RPG that I've seen, especially gacha games. Not only is he going to be able to heal any one of your allies or any of the characters on your team, but he's also going to be able to activate this passive that comes from the skill itself. Whenever the teammate drops beneath 50%, emergency healing is going to kick in and he's going to automatically heal them. This can happen, I think it's a 2-stack if I'm not mistaken, but it can happen every X amount of turns, whatever that may be. They have different triggers or certain triggers, if you will, to activate it. And once they're triggered and good to go, he just does it again. The beauty about this is that 9 times out of 10, you should not be falling beneath 50% HP on every single enemy as often as possible, especially with his ultimate and his skill being able to restore HP. Not only that, but it's also going to be able to dispel debuffs. I know that we're used to this with Natasha and March 7th and their skill being able to take away a debuff. Oh, I got frozen. I'm going to use my skill to heal a character that doesn't need healing, but I want to get rid of the freeze. Boom. I got entangled. Boom. I got imprisoned. Boom. Those two characters are current characters in the game that have the ability to do that. Luocha coming into the game is going to be the third character having the ability to do that. But this is also going to build up his Abyss Flower stacks, which once he gets 2 of them, at least as of right now, it's going to trigger the Abyss Flower field. And with the field, it's going to automatically restore HP for any of the allies whenever Luocha attacks and whenever the ally attacks after you get a certain trace. Beyond that, even though his ultimate doesn't heal, it's going to deal damage to the enemy, and it's going to dispel a buff, which he is the only other character in the game that has the ability to take buffs away from the enemy. The current character in the game right now that does that is Pela, which ironically is on his banner. That's also going to give him a stack of the Abyss Flower. He is an aggressive healer, being that his healing comes from his attack percent. All of his stuff is based off his attack percent. which means there might be some depreciating value or cap as to what his attack percent needs to be, or attack needs to be, in order to get the max out of his healing. Maybe it's 2,500, maybe it's 3,000, who knows. Point being is that at some point it's going to undervalue itself, or rather depreciate, and you don't need to go any higher than X number. But the kicker is you can now look into outgoing healing. So hypothetically, let's say that his cap is 3,000. Great. Now what you can do from that 3,000 point is I can now add into outgoing healing. I can start looking at my outgoing healing percentages. Or I want to put that on the chest piece because I don't need any more attack. I can look at increasing how much healing happens on top of the attack percent. Now my ultimate's going to deal a lot of damage. I'm going to be able to deal a lot of damage with my basic attack. And the best part about all of this that a lot of people are not even considering is the fact that he's also imaginary. And whenever he breaks a character, now you have the ability to add imprisonment, which is another form of CC, aka crowd control, to the enemy. This character alone, his entire kit by itself, is packed with offensive utility. It's impossible for me to not gas him up at this point, to say that as a free-to-play player, bingo, like right there, that is the option to pick up for any free-to-play player. He's so strong that if they released another healer 6, 8, 12 months later, you probably don't even need him. That's how strong Luocha is. Not only that, but his banner is going to have Yukong on it, and Yukong is going to be a mini Bronya in a way, right? She doesn't get the ability to advance you forward, but she gets tons of other stuff. She's going to be able to increase all allies attack for 2 turns, which, I mean, that's going to stack in itself. She loses a stack every time you attack, but I'm not here to talk about the negatives of Yukong per se, more so the positives and like the basic overview. Her basic attack is also going to be able to add, it's a talent called 7 layers, 1 arrow, which increases the toughness damage that she does. Now, I don't know if that's specifically when she attacks, it's an auto thing. So like in that same attack, it increases the toughness damage done to the enemy. I don't know if that's the case or if it increases the toughness damage to that enemy for that 1 turn, right? So like boom, she attacks, and then for the rest of that 1 turn, the toughness damage done to the enemy is increased. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see whenever that happens, but as of right now, it's fine. Her ultimate, similar to Bronya's, which I believe Bronya's increases your attack and your crit damage percentage, Yukong ultimate increases your crit rate and crit damage percentage more than Bronya's does at a base level. Then Yukong also has the effect from the roaring bowstring. After you use her skill, she triggers roaring bowstring. And then if that is active when you use her ultimate, well, now all of those numbers that I told you about increasing crit rate and crit damage get significantly increased. I don't know what's up with Star Rail giving us so many buffer characters, but they've been giving us a lot. We have Bronya, we have Ting Yun, now we're getting Yukong, we have Asta. I don't like Asta, but we have Asta. For the debuffers, we had Pela. We're gonna have Silverwolf. Luocha might be a thing in there. Like, they're going crazy with support characters right now. So I think this is huge. But comparatively, even if we come back to Silverwolf and let me see, on Silverwolf's banner, right? Silverwolf is going to be bringing in Dan Heng. Where's my boy? I'm blind right now. Okay, wait, I'll just go in order. Serval, Dan Heng, and 3 characters that you already have in the game. Serval you're given for free, along with her light cone, not this one. not this light cone. I don't like Asta for different reasons. I think she's inconsistent, but a lot of people seem to like Asta. They think that her ultimate, being able to increase your speed by 36 points is the best thing in the world, and that's the only thing that matters. Asta has a problem with the charging stacks. You can increase that with Eidolons, and I go over more of that specifically in Luocha's or Silverwolf's banner, right? I talk more about Silverwolf's banner in a video coming up, and then we can go over that for Asta. I do the same thing with Dan Heng, and I do the same thing with Serval. Not really, because Serval is like the least thing that matters on this banner. But if you don't have Jing Yuan, let's say that you didn't roll Jing Yuan, then you could probably use Serval. If you have Zila, you could probably use Serval, because maybe you don't have your AoE and Jing was going to be that, but now you have Serval because that's on the other team. Or maybe you're not even using that. Maybe you're using Sushong and Dan Heng on the other team, or Xing Shui on the other team. I don't know. You could even have Himiko for your standard 5-star character. Regardless of what you have, the entire point here is that from Silverwolf's banner alone, I don't think it's worth it. And the reason I don't think it's worth it is because you already have these characters. It's free to play, and I'm going based off of what y'all just told me in my literally my latest video, and y'all were bugging. Y'all were attacking me as if I was crazy. Y'all were like, we want characters. We want, as free to play, we want more characters. We don't care about weapons. We just want all the cool characters. We play the game for characters. Okay, based off that information, the Silver Wolf banner is not for you. As free to play, I don't care how much you like Silver Wolf, as a free to play player, you should not be pulling on the Silver Wolf banner based off what y'all just told me. And I'm repeating the information y'all told me back to y'all. Now, for me, from my perspective, I also don't think you should pull on Silver Wolf. Not for the same reason that you guys are talking about. I don't think Silver Wolf is the best free-to-play banner because Silver Wolf herself is a great character. I think Silver Wolf will change anybody's account. But I think Silver Wolf changes your account, or rather, you will notice the impact of Silver Wolf on your account if you already have your DPS characters and if you already have either Japard or Bailu. Those are the players that are going to be benefiting from Silver Wolf the most. If your second teams are good to go, you've already got Natasha built up, and let's say you're using Fire MC because he's free, cool. Well, now that's one defensive core. They need to work. Like, Fire MC can't work by themselves. They just don't. So you need a healer with Fire MC, and that's the reason people keep saying you need a second healer for stuff like MOC, because that's the only other content in the game that's supposed to be challenging in order for you to make these decisions or base these decisions off of. Now, if you have Japard, that makes things way better. If you have Japard and not Bailu, you could actually get away with not needing a second healer, because Japard is so strong shield wise that if you build him correctly, he will always get his shield back before the shield goes away, and he will always be able to protect your team so that they don't get one shot or die or whatever the case may be. But having a second healer on the team would definitely help out and keep the team alive. If you didn't, though, you could make an argument, you could make a claim to not need him. But again, you would have to have Japard and he would have to be built out. Then you could make the argument, I'm going to pull Silver Wolf, because now what I could do, Japard, Silver Wolf, DPS, and whatever else you want, I guess, right? Like a Yukong in that case. But I mean, your skill point management on that team is going to be insane. Now, last but not least, I'm going over the little bit of what's left in the events, right? The 1.1. Being able to get the 10 pull, amazing. I wish they gave us to every event. I wish we got 2 free 10 pulls every event. That'd be insane. We get 20 free pulls every event, bro. Come on, man. Put that in the game. But as of right now, getting the 10 is fine. I think Silver Wolf's is huge, and if you are pulling Silver Wolf, it's mandatory. You have to do this banner. You don't even need to pull her light cone, because they're giving us a light cone for free that could work in this case, and it's going to be free to superimpose this. It's going to double the numbers if we're following the same trends that superimpositions usually do, which means that this is going to be like, right, skyrocketing her effect hit rate percent all the way up to 40%, which would be great for Silver Wolf. I also have a theory. I'm not confirming this because I don't know it, but I feel like them giving us all of these event rewards are going to be just enough to take Silver Wolf to either level 60 or 70. I'll say 60 plus, right? Giving us all of these, we might be able to take her to 60 plus. Maybe not so much with the trace materials right here, but with the ascension materials, I think they'll give us enough, and I think they'll give us enough books just to be able to level up Silver Wolf, and that'd be great. And of course, this last event is going to be able to give us more free gems, more books, more of the relic essential materials, as well as this thing right here, the synthesis something. But what this does for those that aren't paying for the battle pass, there's an item in the battle pass that if you reach level 40, I think, then you get this item, and what it does is it allows you to choose the main stat on any one relic piece. If I'm looking for a quantum damage piece from the space healing station and I can't get it, I've been farming it for, I don't know, 4 weeks, and I just can't get one, I could use this item to choose the quantum damage piece on the specific relic that I want, which in this case would be the space healing station, and then I can just give it to my Zila. That's the only way that we have to get one right now, which is the battle pass. The event is going to be able to give us another one, which will allow us to choose theoretically 2 if you have the battle pass plus this one. And if they keep this going where you can get one of these per big event, that'd be great. Lastly, we're going to have this event as well, which is, I think it's 4 events or something like that. Maybe 3 or 4. There's something else that you can do with like the museum thing or whatever, but whatever. You get rewards from the museum thing too, but you're also going to be able to get this, and all of this stuff, once again, is going to be great, going to be golden, going to be awesome. Ultimately, it's up to you on what you decide to do when it comes to the banners for 1.1 and 1.2. As of right now, I don't know anything about 1.2. I saw that comment, by the way, comparing 1.1 to 1.2. None of the DPSs matter if you can't survive, but the survival capability of the team doesn't matter if you can't actually do damage. And I'll say this to end it off. A lot of people use Simulated Universe as their prime examples of what you can and can't do, and I think that's quite frankly bullshit, because simulated universe allows you to cheese. It's quite literally just there to have fun. People are running around like, oh man, I soloed everything with Clara, I soloed everything with Japart. You can't do that in Memory of Chaos. Go take that to Memory of Chaos and try and solo something with Japart. Japart might not be able to die for a few turns, but he's not going to be able to do damage, and because he can't heal himself, he's not going to be able to sustain taking all that damage from multiple characters every single turn, especially since he's slow. Clara, the same thing. Clara might be able to pume and counterattack. She might get a few kills, but she's not going to be able to put a shield on herself. She's not going to be able to heal herself. She's not going to be able to revive herself, and she definitely can't kill everything before she gets killed, and that's the problem. So you need to find a fine balance. If you already have your DPS characters, Jing Yuan, Zila, Himiko, Yang Xing, maxed out Dan Heng, whatever the case may be, and you have 2 of them at a minimum, you're good. Then you can make the decision, all right, now I want Silverwolf, because I already have my DPS characters. I have Japart, and I want Silverwolf to help me so that I don't have to pull more DPS characters. Then you can get Silverwolf. But if you don't, you're like, ah man, I don't have any of that stuff, and I still need another DPS because I only have Jing Yuan. Well, now you can go for Luocha, because that's going to fill your support role. But then you can also go in like, oh, okay, cool, I have Jing, I have Luocha. I don't really need another lightning character. I'm gonna go with Blade because I didn't build up my Dan Heng, or I want to replace my Dan Heng. That's it. That's how that goes. Anyway, like the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know your opinions down below. And I can't say my use outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Whether or not I edit this video in the same day is crazy, because if you see it the same day, I'm on crack. I'm not. No, I'm not. YouTube, take that out. I'm not on that word. I don't do that, YouTube. I swear. I'm just man, I need coffee.